Hi, I'm Kaylee, and today I am reviewing Bleak House by Charles Dickens. This is part of one of my goals this year is to reread my 5 favorite classics and then see, are they really still my favorites? So rereading Bleak House was a pretty huge commitment because it is like 850 pages long, but it is worth every single second because it's just so wonderful. Before we dive into my review about how wonderful Bleak House is, I'm gonna reach back here to our Booktuber Shoutout book and we will shout out someone randomly. Today's shout out goes to Jane Knight Reads and Writes. I'll leave a link to their channel so you can go over and subscribe to them. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to this channel and give this video a thumbs up if you love Charles Dickens. And of course, follow me on Instagram and Twitter and Storygraph and Goodreads and all the places. In Bleak House, Esther Summerson goes to live with her guardian, Mr. Jarndyce, and 2 other young wards who are his cousins. The Jarndyce family are involved in a lengthy court case disputing a will that has lagged on for generations, bringing nothing but debt and heartache to all involved. Mr. Jarndyce hopes to repair some of the emotional damage in his family by bringing his young cousins, Ada and Richard, into his own home and providing for them. Esther herself is completely ignorant of her biological family and is thrown into the mystery of her parentage when a certain lawyer begins investigating the death of a man who may have been connected to the secretive Lady Dedlock. And Esther must discover the truth about her mother and father before the lawyer can publicly humiliate them all. This has always been one of my favorite Dickens books, and rereading it several times just confirms this book as a forever favorite. Dickens has such a powerful writing style that every scene transports you to another time and place. Each character has such an emotional pull that it is impossible to read with dry eyes. I definitely cried while rereading this one. And the writing is so funny that I actually laughed out loud in some scenes. There are clever puns and witty little lines that are a complete delight and make me forgive Dickens for being so long-winded at times. Even his lengthy descriptions are so vibrant, so full of fun, that it's well worth taking the time to read them, even if it does slow down the plot a little bit. One of the things that is interesting about this particular book is that it is told partly in first person from Esther's point of view and partly in third person with an omniscient narrator. And this jumping back and forth between writing styles in different chapters, it could be jarring and unnatural, but Dickens makes it work really well. Esther is perfect and sweet and eternally good. She's actually in danger of being too perfect for anyone to like her, but she does struggle and suffer like a regular human being. So the reader is able to relate to her very strongly. She cries and grieves, and she has to push herself to rise above her disappointments and difficult circumstances. I think it's very telling that she is perpetually singing the praises of other people, but she won't acknowledge her own good qualities. She is born an illegitimate child, and her early upbringing taught her to belittle herself and have low self-esteem. I really admire Esther's patient endurance and the complexity of her personality. Through the story, she has strong character development and eventually begins to find contentment in realizing that she is worthy of love. Mr. Jarndyce is a very eccentric character. He is exceedingly generous and kind, but he hates to be thanked. He will literally run out of the room if someone tries to thank him. When he doesn't like a situation, he'll say, "The wind is in the east," and he will retire to his private study called the Growlery, where he presumably growls or grumbles, though no one has ever heard a single unpleasant word ever fall from his lips. I just love Mr. Jarndyce. Ada and Richard are the perfect romantic young couple. They are both of them beautiful or handsome and intelligent and elegant, but of course there are obstacles in their path. and sorrow must come to blight their beloved hopes. On the surface, in the beginning, they both appear to be sort of shallow and simple characters. But as the story unfolds, we get to see hidden depths of strengths and weaknesses in both of them. Their relationship is quite complex and always changing. I really love their storyline. As Esther and the Jarndyce family navigate the terrible court case that entangles their destinies, they meet a whole cast of memorable characters. Every single supporting character is beautifully written and incredibly complex and varied. Lady Deadlock is so very secretive and dignified, but underneath she is a seething volcano of emotional damage. But she keeps it all locked inside, hidden under her calm exterior. Mrs. Jellyby's daughter, Caddy, is sick and tired of the messy Jellyby household. Her mother is so busy campaigning to help poor people in Africa that she has no time to manage her own children or even make sure they have a decent dinner. Caddy meets Esther and wishes that she could be more capable and educated like Esther is. And that is what begins to propel Caddy's entire storyline. Mr. George is a character who becomes the linchpin of the mystery of the dead man. When it becomes known that Mr. George has some letters in his possession that were written by the deceased. But he has his own troubles trying to keep his business afloat and pay his debts. I love Mr. George because his gruff manner hides a very gentle heart, and he looks to his friends to support him in choosing the right road. Poor Joe, the street sweeper, is a sad, pathetic figure. Totally uneducated, Joe can't even read. He's living on the streets and half-starved. But oddly, Joe is the central figure that brings the plot into focus. He comes into contact with all the different groups of characters from different classes of life as they try to help him or reform him or ignore him. He becomes this connecting thread that each group must cope with in some way. One of my favorite characters is Mr. Bucket, the detective. He's hired by different people throughout the story, and he's the one who uncovers the truth and brings light into the mystery. Mr. Bucket has a very high sense of integrity, and he will do his duty to the utmost, but he'll try to be pleasant about it and not irritate good people more than he can help. Even when he's arresting you, he'll be nice about it. I just love how intelligent and imaginative he is. He really thinks things through and he figures out the clues in the most spectacular way. What's truly incredible is that this massive list of supporting characters, and there's so many that I can't even list them all. I just listed some of my favorites. There's just this massive list of supporting characters, and they're all connected in some way. They all have their part to play in Esther's story. No one can write a whirling story with dozens of groups of people all linked and combined in different ways and bring all those threads together for a satisfactory ending like Dickens can. It is this whole tapestry of characters and connections, and they all have some secret to hide. This book is all about secrets and the consequences that come when the truth is revealed or the truth is hidden. Through the entire plot, each person is either trying to find out a secret or trying to hide a secret. Sometimes they're guessing at someone else's secret and they completely misunderstand and they come to the wrong conclusion. And sometimes they guess right and then they find the proof. And sometimes the secrets they hide fester and come between people and make them bitter. But in the end, the truth is always known. Dickens covers so many themes in this book. He's well known for his constant commentary on social justice, painting deeply pathetic pictures of the poor in need of help. In this book, he attacks the injustices and foolishness of the courts of chancery and the lawyers and judges who made their money in hopeless lawsuits, bleeding their clients dry. I love the very deep themes of family loyalty and generosity in this book. There are so many great storylines that follow broken families being reunited and happy families going through tough times together. found family and biological family and adopted family. I just love these themes. This entire book is complete genius from start to finish, and I adore every word of it. It always gets 5 stars from me. Please leave me a comment and let me know what is one of your favorite books from Charles Dickens, and what are some of your favorite themes in his books. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and remember, the right book in the right hands at the right time can change the world.